Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Who are these people?
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Don't be rude.
Who are these people?
Who are these people?
All right. Welcome to another episode of Pro Wrestling Talk. This is Angel Rivera alongside Mrs.Witchy Perfect, and we're going to be reviewing Backlash that took place last Saturday evening. So we're back.
We're back.
And we won't be back next week because next week is Saturday night's main event.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the weekend after has to be it's Slash in Italy.
Yes.
May 31st. Yes. So that's on a Sunday though. So
we could probably review it and then or preview it. I mean, not review it, but preview
on
it.
Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 23rd is Saturday night's main event on Peacock. So we won't be on then. Clash in Paris on the 31st, which is on a Sunday. So we'll probably preview it on the 30th, and then we'll come back June 6th, I guess, and review it then. And, we'll go from there because that's what's going on so far. I mean, WWE is a busy schedule right now.
Yeah, I mean, really busy. I mean, it's like you get over one and, here we are again.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. It's like... Come on. So yeah. So Backlash was last Saturday, 8th. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of a interesting show. I mean, it was a B show after WrestleMania, so you can't really expect
miracles.
Yeah. It's literally like a B show right after WrestleMania, so So we had 5 matches on the card, which is usually rare. They usually have 4 matches plus a bunch of ads. So, but this time it's 5 matches plus a bunch of ads. So the show started at 6 and ended by 9. So it wasn't even, or even before that, it wasn't even that long. So I didn't watch, I'll explain why, but I didn't watch the first 10 minutes of the show or 15 minutes of the show due to technical difficulties I had with my stream, so with my ESPN stream thing, so that sucked. But, yeah, the opening match was, it opened with Braun Breaker with Paul Heyman beating Seth Rollins by pinfall in a singles match. I didn't see the first 15 minutes because, I couldn't get the stream to work, so... as furious as it was, so I couldn't really watch that match as it was. So,
well, let me fill you in. So here's what happened. Seth Rollins was definitely calling this match because he was going, "Hey, hit me!" Like the John Cena bullshit. Yeah. So, I like. So I'm gonna also give my star ratings for this episode, I guess. But for Backlash, let's see. I give this 2.5 stars. And I only did that because of Braun Breaker. I am a big fan of Braun Breaker. There is no denying that now. Everyone knows that, right? So, and yes, I'm sorry. I'm still not 100%. We're only at like an hour. We're going to only be an hour tonight. So, Alex, yeah. But I am still not 100%. My sinuses are still... haywires because, heck, it was nice outside today. Temperature was nice and hot, but, my sinuses don't know what the hell to do because it's also been like really, really cold and it's going to be cold next week. So hot and cold. Uh-huh. What can we say? Yeah. So the first 10 minutes of this match was kind of taken by, there was a couple of mistakes. So, Braun Breaker missed Frankensteiner. Of course, there were some mistakes with Seth Rollins wasn't in place. I guess he wasn't in the right place for, Braun Breaker to do stuff. But it was an okay match because, there was a chin lock and not really rest holds. You couldn't really call them rest holds. They were really working it in because, you know, Braun was like, this is a miserable piece of trash. And he was trash talking him. You know, that's what the old school wrestlers used to do.
Yeah.
So during these, what they call quote unquote rest holds, they were actually working it. You know, they were making it look like an old time match. And then all of a sudden they brought the announce table into it. And I was just like, ugh, why do we have to have the damn announce tables? Now, there's no Slim Jim tables that came out, but for fuck's sake, can we stay away from the announce table at least one time, one pay-per-view? We can do without, you know, tables. Going over to the announce table and breaking the announce table. Probably not. So, overall, it was a good match, I thought. Like I said, a little mishaps here and there. I think people were losing their footing. But I think the right person won the match, as it was, Braun Breaker beating Seth Rollins. Though we were both shocked because I was telling you, I was just like, we thought that Seth Rollins was going to win because again he needed that win back from Braun Breaker spearing him and taking him out. Right.
Yes.
So we were both kind of shocked at that. That happened. And it, like I said, it was a good match. Like I said, they kind of lost some footing. I just didn't like the Seth Rollins hippy jumpy running around the ring like he was some kind of fucking gymnastic guy. And then that's where the old school technical wrestlers come out in me because, you know, I'm used to the technical mat wrestling, not the gymnastic shit. So trigger warning for all those listening, as I was saying on my show today. I like this match. I just didn't like the Seth Rollins bit. You know, it didn't turn me on.
Yeah, the ending was fine. It was good. The ending.
Yeah, it was a good, clean 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You know, I think this was kind of. I'm hoping that this was Seth Rollins putting Braun Breaker over, so that, you know, because it kind of seemed like when he was in the vision that Seth Rollins was keeping him down. You know, so keeping him out of the spotlight, so to speak, or the main event picture, and that's kind of true. They are kind of keeping Braun Breaker out of the, championship picture right now. But what can you do, right?
Yeah. So we'll get to. Well, it seems like what happened on Raw this past Monday. It seems like the feud is going to continue. So this is not over yet between the two, but.
Well, I do think Seth Rollins wants his win back. So they probably will continue this for now. But I like the trash talking that they had. You know, it seemed like an old school kind of match that was going on. You know, oh, he's a piece of trash, you know, that kind of thing, while he's doing a headlock or a reverse chin lock or whatever. So that was the good part of the match. That's why I gave it 2.5 stars. But I mean, other than that, I really just did not enjoy the whole. I don't like Seth Rollins. I mean, trigger warning, but I just don't. I can't get into the Seth Rollins.
Yeah, so talking about Division, they're defending the tag team title against the Street Profits next Saturday. So the Saturday's main event. So Division's defending the tag title against the Street Profits.
Right, and they won the tag titles just recently, didn't they? On Raw, right?
Division won them a while ago. I don't remember exactly when they won it, but they won it a while ago. So we'll get to that maybe a little bit later. But right now, the next match I have here is the next match after a bunch of 5 minutes commercials. After a bunch of commercials, it was the U.S. title rematch from WrestleMania. Trick Williams defeating Sami Zayn for the U.S. title. So. And
I gave this 1 star because it just was awful. Again, we had the mistakes and the mishaps. Trick missed a kick or whatever. Sammy was trying to, kind of cover for him. It was a good, solid match. I just didn't like. I'm not into Trick Williams. Sorry, guys. I'm just not really into Trick Williams.
Oh God,
and I'm barely into Sammy. I mean, I can barely stand Sammy.
Trick is one of these guys that gets over because he happens to have a catchphrase. Whoop that trick, the fans cannot. It's like Yeet. They can't stop Yeet. It's the same thing, essentially. So it's more of that, that's why he's over, not because that he actually is, he has some charisma, but at the same time, it's like he's not over because he's kind of like Jey Uso, he's not over because he's over because of a catchphrase.
Of a gimmick, right? Not because of his wrestling, right?
Yeah. So Trick Williams defeated Sami Zayn for the U.S. title. That rapper helped him win again. So apparently Trick Williams needs that rapper to help him beat Sami Zayn twice.
Yeah,
now, so.
I didn't understand why that he couldn't beat on his own. I guess I don't think Little Yachty needed to be a part of that. All he had to do was kind of just sit back and watch Trick win, because again, Trick was not going to lose. Otherwise, he'd be like a paper champion, right? He'd be like a wolf. Yeah. They're putting over gimmicks. See, this is the whole thing with, and we'll get to it, but the whole thing with John Cena's announcement is they're going to put over someone who has a gimmick, not necessarily someone who can wrestle. So it's pointless.
Cena, right before the main event, had that long promo talking about the new thing they're doing. So we'll get to that. The next match on the card was, Danhausen with Mini Danhausen defeating the Miz, Minihausen defeating the Miz and Kit Wilson.
And what did I tell you? What did I tell you? You and I were texting back and forth. I said this on my show today because I recorded a show today, and I was like, and you and I were texting back and forth, and I said, "Who's the mystery partner?" You go, "I don't know. No one knows." And I said, "It's probably the midget. It's probably one of the midgets, right?"
It was an obvious reference to Dr. Evil and Austin Powers when he cloned himself, but it was a mini version of himself. So
right. Well, and that mini me of his was actually kind of famous. Where none of these guys are famous. None of these little guys are famous. I mean, no offense, Mini Danhausen, but and I have to watch what I say, because if you say the word MIDGET, people on YouTube start to cry. So I'm sorry, little mini Danhausen, the mini guys. I was screaming on it at my screen. I'm like, it has to be one of those mini guys. It has to be the little guys. And there was I guess people were saying, oh, it's Jelly Roll. Oh, it's CM Punk.
Yeah, people thought it was Jelly Roll or Punk.
Would probably be more believable, but I was like, no, it has to be one of them little guys. I'm sorry. It's got to be one of the little guys.
It was pure speculation because there was no reason. Punk had just gone away on his vacation, and he'll keep coming back to do what? To partner. I understand him and Danhausen are buddies, but still, I mean, to him to return like that didn't make much sense. So it wasn't Punk. It wasn't going to be Jelly Roll either, because I'm sure they have big plans to Jelly Roll at SummerSlam later in the year. So it's not like, like they're gonna put him in a tag team with Danhausen all of a sudden. So it had to be somebody that either Mini or somebody really didn't care about. So
and that's what I was saying. Itself, that's what James Romero was saying earlier. It was Punk, it was Joe Hendry, it was take your pick here. But we got screwed out of the fact that Cody Rhodes is hurt. He's his eye. He totally has an eye issue. Someone punched him in the eye or something. So Cody Rhodes is hurt. Randy Orton had to go away for some reason, and Pat McAfee quit. So there really was only Jelly Roll.
None of that made any sense. We can go back to I don't know. We should relitigate WrestleMania again, but none of that made any sense because Jelly Roll. Because that was supposed to be the main event for after WrestleMania, which was Backlash. So after WrestleMania came Backlash, and it was supposed to be Jelly Roll and Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton and Pat McAfee, but everyone kind of split. Pat McAfee dropped out of the angle because he didn't want to get booed anymore. The fans were turning on him. Randy Orton went away. I guess he was embarrassed by it too, and only one left pretty much was Jelly Roll. So it's like, they scrapped the whole angle after that. Yeah,
they scrapped the whole angle and the whole main event. So I know it wasn't that, but this was just, oh my God, this was rotten. This is -5 stars. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm not into Danhausen. And no one else is either because he got booed.
Well, here's the thing with Dan. He is he's over with a certain part of the crowd. Like, he gets, he does get a reaction and people are interested in his matches, or at least that casual audiences, it definitely are, because and then this whole, but like he fits WWE. I mean, that whole that fake vampire evil gimmick, it just fits
You
WWE.
are
Yeah,
cursed.
all that fits WWE so much because it's like silly, kind of like our truth type of silly, so it fits WWE. But as long as he's friends with Punk, he'll have a job for life, basically. So if you're gonna watch WWE, you're gonna see Danhausen all over that television now. So
Ugh.
it's like,
Well, he
so
goes for
yeah,
the cloning thing, and it's like,
yeah.
and as soon as
Or-
the mini Danhausen comes out, he goes, "Oh shit." I just like, I
Yeah.
told you. I'm screaming on the texting. I told you, Angel. I told you, it's the mini guy.
Yeah, the match itself, eventually towards the end, the other guy, Kit Wilson, throws the mini back into the machine. A bunch of minis come out, they beat him up, and
Oh, that was
eventually
even worse.
Danhausen eventually pins the Miz, and that was it. That he won, so that
I
was
like
it.
they couldn't get the what was that, fire extinguisher? They couldn't get the fire extinguisher to work.
Mhm.
Danhausen's looking at it, and he sprays himself, and then he kind of like, oh damn.
No, he's kind of a
Come on,
clown.
guys, come on. We know he didn't really spray it in his face.
Yeah, it's very clownish, and that's what he does. That's his gimmick. It's kind of like silliness and just laugh at him and stuff. So yeah, it wasn't supposed to be a good match, but at the same time, it wasn't even that funny either. So not gonna work for me, but whatever. I mean,
that doesn't work for me, brother.
yeah. I mean, it's so definitely it's like, oh god, it's just brutal.
Oh, it was so
That doesn't
bad.
work for me.
I kept going, yeah, and that doesn't work for me, brother. That's right. I mean, that was just downright horrible. So I gave it -5 stars. I'm sorry. And it's not even the fact that I'm not into Danhausen. It is the fact that it is so rotten that literally is, I mean, that's the highest I can go.
that made the card. That WWE is actually investing time into Danhausen versus the Miz and Kit Wilson angle. They're focusing on this on the show. So yeah, not good. All right, so the next match, let's see here. The next
match, I went out and played catch with my son, and I didn't even see it.
Right, it was Io Sky defeating Asuka by pinfall.
Yeah. I went outside. I didn't even watch this damn match, and I still gave it -stars because, again, no one really cares about. I mean, Kairi Sane. A lot of people thought Kairi Sane was going to come back and get revenge on Asuka. People thought that Kairi Sane was going to get revenge on Asuka, and again, Kairi Sane got released, so I didn't know where people were getting this. They don't really bring stars back who get released unless they bitch about it, like R-Truth, right?
Yeah, I mean the whole like Kairi Sane thing is just. I didn't really notice that she was gone, and apparently Asuka is now gone too. So, yeah, because she's leaving too. She had that whole goodbye with Io Sky on Raw. It's like, so she's left too now apparently. So she's not either she's part time or she's retired. Nobody knows what's going on with her, but she's gone now too. So she randomly turned babyface on everybody.
Yeah. I don't know.
Gone,
like I said, I didn't even see this match, and I still gave it -5 stars. Enough with the Io Sky stuff. I'm done with the whole Japanese thing. It's not even real Japanese wrestling anymore, so I'm done with it.
Yeah, so that I wasn't. I didn't really pay attention to that match too much, so it was more like, So now let's get to before the main event. Before I forget, we had the announcement by John Cena. So Cena comes out, cuts a promo with his 3-piece suit, like he's a executive now at WWE instead of being a wrestler just 10 minutes ago, and he So he announces, what is it, a John Cena tournament or classic, what the hell
Now,
it is?
I don't even know what the
and
hell it is. It just seems like more AEW bullshit that they're
he
trying to, like,
announces,
I think WWE is trying to be like AEW in a way because they have the Owen Hart tournament, right?
yeah, they announced a John Cena a classic or whatever it is. It's supposed to be matches between veterans and NXT wrestlers, and whoever the fans pick, it becomes a John Cena Classic champion. But he doesn't have that person doesn't have to win the match. Their match, they can lose and still be the champion.
Right.
Like,
And this is where I was kind of saying this kind of sounds like more people like Jey Uso are going to get over. They have a gimmick, but they can't fucking wrestle. And that's where, like, that I kind of was like, no, see, this is so much like AEW because, again, in AEW, they have the Owen Hart tournament, and that sucks too. It's literally whoever has a gimmick wins, and they get a ring or whatever, or they get a trophy, but they're gonna get a belt, I guess, belt to
they're
who
gonna
sucks the
get.
worst in the fucking wrestling match. But
They don't have. What bothers me is they don't have to win their match. The fans pick whoever is the champion.
right, and again, we have Jey Uso
and
and Trick Williams who literally cannot wrestle, but yet they are a gimmick and they can get over with the gimmick. I'm sorry, boys. You have to have both. Kurt had a great gimmick, and he was a great wrestler. That, in my book, that is what it takes to actually be a champion. But that doesn't hold up. Well, what gets my goat is, like, literally Triple H and TKO spent the last fucking 6 months telling wrestling fans to suck it up, Buttercup, and go fuck yourselves. Just be a fucking fan. Now you want the fans' opinions, and you want the fans to actually put their input into it. Something doesn't smell right here.
I maybe they're throwing a bone to the internet crowd because that way, if the voting is legitimate, their indie darling that they hire get to be the John Cena Classic champion, and I don't know what's that supposed to lead to, but because the NXT because they gutted the NXT roster and moved all of them up to their main roster. We talked about this a few weeks ago where they fired the New Day and a bunch of mid-carders. So
yeah,
and they moved up all the NXT guys up there and girls. So yeah, they gutted NXT.
Sounds like they're going to do more of that because, I mean, what are they doing with I want to call him Miro, but that's not right. Rusev. They're really doing nothing with Rusev, Penta, Rey Mysterio, that whole middle card division that's been like the Lucha Libre. You only have Dominic Mysterio, who makes that all worth watching, because everyone hates Dominic. Everyone loves to hate Dominic, right?
Yeah.
But I don't get it. Like, I think they're going to do
Mm-hmm.
more releases because they literally are taking NXT and just moving it all up. But the one person I would like to see on the main roster, because I think he would be a good asset, is Brian Pillman Jr. I would love to see if they can do something with him, but I don't think they're going to do anything. They're probably going to put him with him.
He's still in NXT, and I think he's leading like a stable or something of second generation wrestlers down there. But he's like the leader of that stable. They're all second generation, so it's interesting to see that. William Regal's son is there. Santino Morella's daughter is there. He's there, and one other guy is there. I forget who right now, but they're like all second generation. So, all right, let's see. So we got that out of the way. That's going to be terrible, and we'll watch it.
It's a horrible idea. It's like John Cena was watching AEW, said, "I want to do that, and I want to put my name on it." Kind of like Owen Hart. Only Owen Hart's not here to defend himself and say that sucks.
It's like TKO is still trying to involve Cena in the shows, even though he can't wrestle anymore. So it's like, first the host of WrestleMania, then shows up at Backlash to do this announcement. He'll show up again later in the year for John Cena's Classic, whenever it's going to air this. They're planning on airing this. And then he'll probably be there at SummerSlam, so he'll still be all over this TV, even though he's retired. So that's not going to be fun.
He can't stay away. I mean, it's like Kurt, that was his life for, 20-something years, almost 30 years of his life. So I get that it's hard to walk away. It is hard to walk away from this business, especially when you're used to not the spotlight. I would say Kurt fed off the fans. He needed that fan input, and that's what made him a great wrestler, but also a great gimmick too.
Yeah. So that's going to be bad. That's going to be terrible. So I'm guarantee you a lot of these, like there's a lot, they're hiring a lot of these indie darlings down there in NXT now. So they're and the ratings have like cratered in the last few weeks for NXT, and that's because they gutted the roster. Everybody people knew are gone, and now it's literally all new guys pretty much and girls. So it's like, yeah, people
The
don't want to
one
watch
good
this shit.
person that I agree with coming up was Obafemi. I
Well,
cannot wait to
obviously,
see what
yeah,
Obafemi has to do. And it's not like the Brock Lesnar thing or the Goldberg thing where he only knows like a few moves. He looks like a wrestler. And
yeah.
I can't wait to see more of what he's got to offer.
So for now, he's kind of, I don't want to say stagnant, but at the same time, it's like they don't really have much for him to do because
And
he's
that's a
just
shame because
squashing.
I want to see more of him. I don't want
He's
to
just
see these
squashing.
booking into oblivion shit.
Yeah, he's just squashing like these like lower like these guys that are in catering that never wrestle. They only get squashed by him. So that's what it seems like. They're not really, they don't have a plan for him. It seems like it's more like it's tough because they have to, if you're gonna bring him up and have him beat Brock, you have to have a plan for him. Okay, he's gonna win the IC belt. He's gonna run with it for a year, and then eventually, once the Royal Rumble comes around next year, he'll win it and then challenge Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes for the title and beat them, and then he'll have a long run with the world title. He said they have
Well,
no plans for him.
right.
He's,
There is and Kurt talked about this too. There is a thing called paying your dues in wrestling. And yes, I want to see Oba pay his dues, just like everyone else. Braun Breaker,
yeah,
same thing. They had him in the Intercontinental Championship, and now his getting into the main event circuit has kind of been stagnant. And I don't want to see that. I want to see Braun Breaker versus Roman Reigns, for fuck's sake. Move him up. Braun Breaker has showed himself to be a good wrestler. He has the moves, he has the charisma, he has the gimmick. He is he wrestles like his dad, which is solid, but he has the gimmick like his uncle. I mean, he acts like Scott Steiner. You know, he doesn't care what the fans think of him. He is the good heel, right? Everyone loves to hate him, but you just gotta like him because he's so damn cool, right? It's kind of like Kirk in that aspect.
he's tough. It's tough to it's just crowded right now. The world title picture is crowded. I wouldn't put the world title in right now either. I wouldn't. That's too much too soon. But at the same time, it's like if he just keeps squashing like these guys in catering that never come out and wrestle, then the fans are going to lose interest. They have to have some sort of angle or story or idea for him in order to keep him fresh. He has to have real matches basically because really hasn't had a real match yet.
It's
Except
kind
for
of like
Brock.
the Goldberg thing. They would give him squash matches too because he didn't have the one thing that Oba has that Goldberg didn't. Oba has more moves in his arsenal, in his toolkit, right? Goldberg only could wrestle for like less than a minute because he only knew 3 moves, for fuck's sake. So Oba has a lot going for him. What I'd like to see going forward is good booking and get the fans interested. It doesn't have to be like a Goldberg thing. It doesn't have to be like that at all. I want to see a great match between, I don't know, someone, maybe the Usos, okay? Even though Jay and Jimmy Uso cannot wrestle, I think they would still get a good match out of Obafemi, okay? And I'm not talking a squash match. Where's LA Knight? Where's LA Knight could have a great match with Obafemi? Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, true, but Oba's going to ultimately pin him to unbeat him. So it's
right. Well,
he's
and
not
I
going
do
to
feel
beat
bad for
Oba.
LA Knight,
So,
but you get what I'm saying. Like he needs
Yeah.
to be in the upper mid card with the upper mid card guys, at least going through some of them. You know, he could even go through Sammy. I think Sammy could get a great match out of Oba.
Yeah.
You know, XYZ here on the upper mid card. Not Penta, please, not Penta.
Well, Penta's the Intercontinental, so if you're gonna put the IC belt on him, he needs to work with Penta. But
I know.
but there's something interesting
And
that
then Russo, that would be a good match. But I don't think I don't respect Russo as a wrestler. He's more of just a scary gimmick. Ooh, the Russians, boogie, 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 boogie. You know?
I thought you said Russo. I think you meant Rusev.
No, I said Rusev.
Oh, I thought you said Russo. Okay, never mind.
Russo is shit stain.
So, yeah, that'd be fine. But I could Like it's tough because I could see you because Oba's going to be stagnant on Raw rather quickly. So why not move him down in AAA, have him beat Dominic for that mega belt, that world title, and kind of dominate down there in Mexico for a while, and then use him on Raw too at the same time. Use him on Raw. I'm not saying don't use him on Raw or SmackDown, but I'm sure Undertaker would love to use him because he's booking.
Oh
Mexico.
yeah, especially against Americano Original or it's Chad Gable. Okay, Chad Gable. I think he'd be really great against Chad Gable. Chad Gable could get a good wrestling match out of Obafemi. And it doesn't have to be a squash match because Chad Gable is a solid technical wrestler. So,
I would put the mega title on a world title on Oba, have him go back and forth between Mexico and the US. That's kind of paying his dues going down to Mexico, having to work work down there in
they don't have the house shows anymore. That makes sense. Yeah. And
so
he used to pay their dues with those house shows.
Yeah. To work those live events, to work in small towns in Mexico, and having to kind of get over with the crowd when they don't speak English that much. So it's like that's a different experience for him,
Well, we can all go, Oba. That's kind of like the Goldberg thing, and I hope they don't treat him like Goldberg.
Or they can have him face forget who's Omos. Omos is down there and working AAA. Have him beat Omos.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Omos is still in WWE, but he's down there in Mexico, so he's the bodyguard for what's his face? Vikingo.
Okay.
So
nothing with Mr. Iguana, okay? I can't stand it. No.
Yeah, because they turned Vikingo heel recently, so I watched a little bit of the show. So
and doesn't Dominic still have that belt though? Yeah,
he would have to beat Dominic for the mega title, which I would do immediately because Dominic's kind of stagnant too with that belt. Like I'm not sure. It seems like the main angle in AAA right now is the Americanos, the original Grande versus the new Grande. That's the main angle. They're
Chad Gable and Ludwig Kaiser.
Yeah, that's their main angle right now, which is
that English kid, right?
Yeah, Ludwig Kaiser is over down there in Mexico. I mean,
he's so over. I'm making fun of Ric Flair. He called him an English kid when he's actually from Austria, I think.
Yeah.
Because Ric Flair doesn't know the difference. But anyway, I can see Oba going to. I mean, you got to give him some exposure. Give him exposure. Again, they don't have house shows anymore, and that's where the wrestlers did the bulk of their work was in those house shows. You get the fans excited for the house shows. You get the TV fans excited for the TV shows, and bam, you got something going on here.
Yeah, so I'm just worried that they're going to have him get stagnant because all they're doing is squash matches, and they did the same thing on Raw where he beat Angel and Humberto, that tag team that they never used. He just beat him by himself. It's like, oh great, he beat two dudes by himself, but he's gonna get stagnant rather quickly. Yeah.
With John Studd. They used to do that with John Studd. They had a handicap match with John Studd and two nobodies that no one's ever heard of. Yeah. Two job guys.
So he's doing like an open challenge thing, which again, the open challenge thing in wrestling needs to die because it's been done to death now. Everybody's doing an open challenge. So Adam Pearce came out. Nobody wants to accept your open challenge, so it's been canceled. And Oba gets furious. He leaves the ring, goes backstage, grabs these two guys, carries them out, beats them 1, 2, 3 in a minute or two, and then celebrates. It's like, I mean, that's kind of badass, but it's going to get old rather quickly, so it's going to get old.
Like Goldberg, and I'm sure Oba has more, like I said, he has more moves, and he can do more wrestling moves in his arsenal. He had some wrestling moves there against Brock Lesnar, but it was like he literally made Brock Lesnar look like a bitch, and someone had to.
Well, Brock put him over strong, and I give him credit for that because he didn't really have to do that. I mean, he put him over strong in his retirement match. So, yeah, let's get back to Backlash now because we got to get to this main event for the world title. Roman Reigns pinning Jacob Fatu and retaining his belt. So,
and I told you how I felt about it. It let the air out of me. I'm just like, ugh, If anything, and this is what I was telling you on the text messaging, is I really feel like they're going to push Jacob Fatu back down the card, and I don't want that to happen. I think Jacob Fatu is doing great things now. He's in the main event picture. I'd like to see him continue, but it just they beat him clean in the middle of the ring, and I didn't like it. I hated it. Have like a disqualification or something, but don't beat him cleanly in the ring. That just tells me that they're literally going to push him back down the card.
But I could see that, but after the match, it seems like he got his heat right back, and he destroyed Roman Reigns. So
right, but
disrated him and left him.
How effective is that Tongan death grip when literally Roman all he had to do was move around and he could get out of it? When Haku did it as Ming, or as he did it as Haku, he literally dominated those wrestlers that he put the Tongan death grip on. Tonga death grip on.
Yeah.
It was a devastating move, and now it's just like, oh well, if Roman Reigns can get out of it, any fucking schlum can get out of it, right? I mean, all he had to do was flail his body around.
Yeah, and I think it was a Superman punch or a spear. So eventually hit him with a spear and then pinned him. But after he won, Jacob just popped right back up, like he was like furious, and then he just destroyed Roman Reigns again and left him laying again.
Which just tells me that there's probably more of a feud there, maybe.
Yeah, there is.
But again, I didn't like the fact that he beat Jacob clean in the middle of the ring. I thought it should have been like you protect Jacob and do like a disqualification or even a count out, or have like where, not that he submits, but have Roman just pass out or something. You can still leave him with the belt, but I mean, and what it was, what else was I telling you on text message? I don't want another 4 years of Roman Reigns.
It's not going to be 4 years. I can almost guarantee that it's not going to be 3.5 year title run again. Yeah. He'll drop it with it. I mean, Jacob has a lot of momentum right now as this psychotic. I don't want to call him a heel because he's not really a heel because fans are cheering him.
Yeah, people love him. People love him. Yeah, they love the cheer.
He's like a psychotic, like tweener type of. I don't know how to explain it, but he's not really a full blown heel.
The werewolf scene of it, the werewolf feel of it, and they just like literally, they kind of killed the werewolf part of it, but they made him sort of a badass at first, he was in prison, blah, 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 while Roman Reigns was in wrestling or whatever, and he was sleeping on a mattress with his wife and 7 kids. I mean, kudos to Jacob that he has 7 children, especially in this day and age. But I mean, what I'm not understanding is why he had to be beat in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3, cleanly.
They beat him.
Yeah, I just thought
in the middle with the Roman's finish.
Right there.
They beat him clean in the middle with the Roman's finish, which if you're kind of like an old school fan, that tells you that they're not going to they don't believe in him on top. But at the same time, right after the match, he just left Roman he left him laid out again. So
and I get that part. It's and again, like with the Tonga death grip, it just wasn't as effective in his uncle's day. I mean, Roman made him look like they didn't respect the hold at all. Like Roman, it's almost like Roman said, "No, I'm not going to go down to the Tongan death grip." Well, then you might as well just slap Haku in the face. I'm not going to go down to your move. It was a fair move. It was to put fear in the hearts of the opponents. When Haku did it, and he did it a lot more in WCW, I think. Especially as a submission move. I mean, let him go down to that move, but they made a mockery of that move. If I were Haku, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, so Roman retains, with a 17-minute match. It was good until the finish. I had kind of an issue with, like you did, but match itself, eventually Jacob leaves him laying. He does his whole deal, and that's how Roman's left laying in the middle with his belt, even though he won, he retained. So Jacob looked weak, but at the same time, he got back a lot of that aura that he had, even though he did lose the match. So he got back.
And they did the same thing with Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and it kind of left it back in everybody's mouth that he left Cody Rhodes laying.
Yeah, but again, that the issue with that, the same issue coming up with this, because on Raw, the next night or Monday night, a couple nights later, Roman Reigns, demanding that Jacob Fatu acknowledges him, do that whole thing, acknowledge me thing. Eventually, Jacob gets to the arena at the end of the show, and I think it was Jay, one of the twins, trying to say, "Oh, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. Just acknowledge him." Blah blah blah. He's like, "Acknowledge him, my ass," and he started just like, and then he beat up both Usos and eventually destroyed Roman Reigns again and left him laying again. So it was like, and then and eventually he hit that spot. They did that spot where Jacob runs and puts Roman and the Usos through a barricade, and then they all sold like death, and then that's how Raw ended. And Jacob had the world title. So basically teasing the feud's going to continue. So it's not over yet.
Well, and I agree with that. And again, I think they should keep him. Because didn't you tell me that Roman already has one foot in Hollywood?
Pretty
so
much.
does Cody Rhodes. But I mean,
he's done a couple movies already this year. So
yeah. So just do us a favor, Roman. Just go to Hollywood and stay there. Become a big movie star like The Rock did, like your cousin The Rock did, and leave the big boys to play on a more upper level scale. I'm not saying that. I'm sorry, guys. Trigger warning. I can't get into Roman Reigns. I can't. I tried really hard. I really did, especially with CM Punk on their side. I can't. Nope. Sorry. I'm not on the bandwagon of Roman Reigns.
So he again destroyed Roman Reigns, left him laying, and I'm like, okay, but how effective is it going to be if he doesn't win this belt? He needs to win this belt. Because
Exactly.
let's say they have the rematch down the line because Roman Reigns is going away. He's coming back in June at some point. He's going away on one of his vacations. So let's say they come back and have the rematch for the world title. If Jacob loses clean again, him leaving Roman Reigns and the Usos laying again afterwards is not going to be as effective. It's going to be like, yeah, but he lost again, So it's like,
yeah. I mean, you might as well just send him back to wherever he came from. Put him back in jail, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, the match was going to be...
This is not like Jey Uso. This is not like, oh, well, if you don't make Jey Uso the champion, you might as well send him back to California. No, that's not what this is. Jacob Fatu is so much better. His wrestling is better. His aura is much more... It's heavier. He's not just a gimmick. Jacob Fatu is so much more than a gimmick. He's a great wrestler, and he's a gimmick. Again, he's like Kurt Hennig. You have to be both, or you're not going to be anything in this business. You're just going to be a gimmick. And people like me, you don't want to see just the gimmick. I want to see the wrestling behind it, and I want to see the gimmick too. Bret Hart was a great gimmick, but he was also a great wrestler.
Yeah,
he wasn't perfect, but he was great.
Yeah, he believed. Like wrestlers, a lot of wrestlers these days, they come across as actors more as wrestlers. So it's like they think of themselves as actors first and wrestlers second. But it's like, no, you are your gimmick. That's what you need to do. And Jacob clearly believes in it, and his motivation is obvious. He keeps talking about over and over again how he has 7 kids to feed and he has a family to feed. And Roman Reigns, you abandoned me. You left me in jail, in prison when, you were a big star in WWE. I mean, how could you do that to me? So there's motivation there. There's great character, motivation. There's everything you need to understand why Jacob Fatu is doing what he's doing. And in order to get back at Roman Reigns, he needs to get this belt and destroy Roman Reigns' empire before he even gets started. So... But I'm afraid they're going to just beat him again and then have Roman go through the roster for the next year, like he did in his last reign. So
that's what I have a feeling they're going to do too. That's why I said I can't handle another 3-year reign from Roman Reigns. I can't do it. I won't watch it.
I don't think it's going to be 3 years, but yeah, I'm afraid they're going to basically have him go through the roster again like he did in his last title run. And so right now I don't know what their intention is. I'm hoping that they switch this belt rather quickly, so because Roman at this point doesn't need the belt. He's like a legend, he's like above being champion, kind of like Undertaker was towards the end. He doesn't really need a belt. He's over no matter what. Randy Orton's kind of the same way, and so is Roman at this point. So there's certain guys that you get to a point in your career where you don't need the belt. It's more like you're a legend. You're made with the fans. No matter what you do, you're always going to get cheered. So so it's like, do you really need to hold the world title hostage? I don't think you do. So yeah, so now that was Backlash. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was okay, the show. So it was.
Oh, I was gonna say my star rating was 2 stars. I gave it 2 stars for Jacob Fatu, but I can't do another Roman Reigns kind of.
It was.
I couldn't do it. Nope, can't do it.
It wasn't as bad, so that pay-per-view as I thought it was going to be. So
it was okay. The Danhausen stuff really stank. I was just like, I should go out and just play catch with myself.
At least it was an 11-minute match. It wasn't that long. But yeah, next Saturday, guys, is Saturday night's main event. We'll be watching that on Peacock. Me and Witchy, I guess. And so there's only 3 matches listed so far here. They're all not interesting in the slightest, but let's see. So we got I'm going to preview it real quick here. A 6-woman tag, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss versus Jade Cargill, Mishin, and B-Fab.
I don't like any of those people except for Rhea Ripley. Well, what has Rhea done lately? She got the belt at WrestleMania, and now who she face?
No one. It seems like she's kind of all of a sudden now she and Charlotte and Alexa Bliss are friends now, and they're kind of feuding with Jade Cargill and her cronies, but she hasn't defended that title since she won it in WrestleMania. So it's like,
oh my god!
And
Liv Morgan, what is she doing? She's with someone else now, right? She's trying to get back at someone else, I think.
Stephanie's hurt.
So yeah. Oh, Stephanie's hurt. Okay, I was gonna say, where's Stephanie McCurr?
Yeah, she's hurt. So they're leaving Liv Morgan kind of twisting in the wind as champion. So he haven't really done much with her either. So.
I was gonna say I expected a rematch at Backlash, but that never happened. Rhea, I have no idea what the hell's going on with her. You know,
they haven't done anything. Again, she hasn't been in the title either since she won it. And I mean, she's kind of they separated her from Io Sky finally. You know, but now they're kind of putting her with Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, kind of having like a frenemies type thing with them. So. Like, oh, here we go. I mean, there's like another Io Sky 2.0. Mm-hmm. So not interested in this match at all. I guess the baby faces will win because Rhea needs to win, and it's been a while since WrestleMania. So yeah, the next match listed here is a World Tag Title match between Division, Logan Paul and Austin Theory versus the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, or Bianca Belair's husband. So that's the World Tag Team title match.
Well, the only reason why he's ever relevant is because they're having a baby.
Yeah, Montez Ford is Bianca Belair's husband. So they're probably gonna get this belt because Montez Ford is having a baby and people know about that. So, and they haven't been around much in the last year, so it's obvious to me they're gonna win these belts most likely. So.
Which I'm glad. I'm glad that Bianca Belair, and I'm glad that Naomi had a baby. Have babies. That's what we want you to do. Have babies and multiply. But I mean, the only reason why, no offense to him or her, but the only reason why he's relevant is because she's pregnant, and people know who she is, right? They don't know who he is.
Yeah. So.
When your wife is more famous than you are, right?
Yeah, I don't see how the Division retains these belts, especially since that whole situation with Bianca is going on, and it's obvious why the Street Profits are fighting, for that. So, unless they're planning on dropping it back to the Usos, then the Street Profits are kind of screwed in that case if the Division retains. But let's see. But Logan Paul has been doing good work as a heel lately. I mean, it's like he's over as a heel. The fans hate him. He's really like taking wrestling seriously and actually, and not trying to be world champion and paying his dues. So I hate to say it, but I've been pretty impressed with his work lately. So I don't know what you think about that, but that's just my opinion.
Reluctantly, but I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty impressed with what Logan Paul's been doing lately. So he's been taking wrestling seriously, and he's paying his dues and not going for the world title. He's the tag team champion.
The only thing I didn't agree with was the fact that Seth Rollins was the head of the Vision. Logan Paul, fine, pay your dues, be in the Vision, but be under Braun Breaker. Don't be under Seth Rollins.
That's kind of
Seth Rollins is past it.
Yeah, that's kind of what they're doing now, if you notice. I mean, if you watch Raw, especially when Braun Breaker, the Vision comes out and Braun Breaker's like front and center and Austin Theory and Logan Paul behind him with the tag belt. So you can
It's
tell.
like when they split up the NWO, right? They made it NWO Hollywood for Hogan, who didn't want to relinquish power. So Seth Rollins doesn't want to relinquish power. If he wants to get a bunch of guys under him, go ahead, go for it, Seth Rollins. That's what Hogan did. And then on the other side, you had the Red and Black with Kevin Nash, with Randy Savage, and etc. And once upon a time, Kurt Hennig too. So I mean, all I'm saying is when you can have this faction, kind of like the NWO. I don't know why they split them apart, but they did. But you could have like a faction of the NWO fighting each other and be like the Vision on one side and Seth Rollins' Vision, if he wants to call it that, I guess.
That'd be so we'll see what happens there. But right now, the last match listed here is the Intercontinental title match. Penta defending against Ethan Page from NXT.
No.
He just came up from NXT and he gets the Intercontinental title match. So he gets.
I don't like Penta. I'm sorry, I tried to like Penta, but when he put Chad Gable on his head, I was like, ooh, yeah, that's the AEW right there.
So I'm not sure if that's going on last or it's going to be the tag team title match. Only 3 matches listed here. I'm assuming there's going to be one more match added during the week,
and I hope it's with something who's main event, something main event worthy.
Because it seems like on the Saturday Night's main event poster is Penta front and center. He's the only one on this poster, so it seems like he might be going on last in the show because he's the one on the poster here. So it's like what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, no, please, goddess, no. But it would probably be 3 matches. But they treat Saturday Night's main event like a pay-per-view. They never did that before. It's just kind of like, oh, this is Saturday Night's main event. Yeah, they had mainstream stars on it. They had like Hogan, Savage, and Andre on it at one point, and even Mr. Perfect and Bret Hart. But I'm getting at is they now it's like a fucking pay-per-view. It's like, you have Backlash, plus you have Saturday Night's main event, plus you have this other thing and that other thing. It's like
Clash in Italy is at the end of the month on the 31st.
Yeah, Clash in Italy, and they're gonna have all these like pay-per-view feeling like, shit. Whereas the B shows are now Raw and SmackDown. Nothing is exciting on Raw and SmackDown. It's all the pay-per-views that they have in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm. So right now, I don't think Ethan Page is getting his belt. I mean, I'd be surprised if he actually wins his belt because he just came up from NXT and.
Well, no offense to Penta, but if they ever do decide to take the belt off of Penta, I hope they don't push him out of mid-card. That dude is not ready for main event status. He's a gimmick.
But he main event scene is too crowded. Most likely they'll pair him back with his brother and have him be a tag team.
That's fine with me.
Off him.
That's fine with me. He's not ready for the main event yet.
I don't think. Even I know that Triple H likes him as a singles because he's over with the crowd and he sells a lot of merch, but. The main event scene is too crowded right now. I mean, with you have Cody
and gimmick. You sell a lot of merch and you are the fans like you and you sell a lot of merch. That's just a gimmick. It's the wrestling you have to put behind it, in my opinion.
Yeah, so you have the Cody and Gunther feud right now going on, and you have Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu.
And Gunther?
Yeah, Cody and Gunther, they're wrestling at Clash in Italy at the end of the month for their title.
All right, so they moved Gunther back up to the main event scene.
Yeah, and he's now on SmackDown. So
again,
yes,
Gunther could become the champion, I guess, if Cody's going away for vacation again.
Yeah, because he won this belt back in February, and he was supposed to drop it to Randy at WrestleMania, the initial plan, but that whole angle fell apart when Pat McAfee dropped out, so that's why they kept the belt on Cody. But I'm not sure whether that means Gunther's going to get it at Clash in Italy or not. I mean, hence what Cody's planning on doing after Italy. So, but yeah, that's the main event for Clash in Italy at the end of the month. So that's the only match I think was announced as of now. I don't think any other matches. We'll probably preview it on the 30th for sure when there's more matches. But right now, and we don't really have much else to talk about when it comes to that show.
I have off Memorial Day, so.
The only match listed here is Cody Rhodes versus Gunther for the title. So that's the only match listed here, which I assume will go on last. So
more than likely.
So it's Turin, Italy, May 31st. Oba Femi's on the poster, so I'm assuming he'll be on the show somehow.
That's good. I want to see, not a squash match. I want to see a match between him and, let's say, I don't know, Chad Gable. Okay? I think Chad Gable would teach him you can't have all these squash matches because it's going to end up like the Goldberg thing. They're going to inflate the, when they inflated the fucking, streak or whatever.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so the only thing I would predict from that match is Randy Orton returning and costing Cody Rhodes the belt, and then having go off and feud without the title being involved, and then have Gunther work with God knows who. Because here's the thing: I mean, they don't do that, or at least in this era, they don't switch the world titles like this. So if Gunther's going to get this belt, he's going to be champion for a while. So it's like, I mean, whoever faces him first is going to lose the feud, and then I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of questioning how to book Gunther as WWE champion because who's there to feud with? McIntyre's gone. Cody's going to be busy with Randy.
Unless you bring back, John Cena at this point, revenge on the last match he ever had or whatever. They won't do that, but maybe Oba, maybe Braun Breaker. Maybe they push Braun to get him out of the vision and push him up to, Gunther. That would be, I'd like to see that. Yeah,
maybe Oba. The only thing is, I wouldn't desire either guy to lose because they're going to lose that program, that angle ultimately, because unless they intend to switch the belt rather quickly, then. Because Cody, if my scenario plays out, Cody's going to be busy with Randy for like 6 months. Because that feud is not going to be over immediately. So, unless Cody retains... Can
you get a Cody turn?
That'd be interesting. I mean, because I don't see how the fans boo Randy. Fans don't want to boo Randy Orton, no matter how much, how much you desire him to be a heel. It's not going to happen. So
no, they really... And they were booing Cody.
Yeah.
They were booing Cody, for fuck's sake.
We talked about this during the WrestleMania review, but Cody worked that match as a heel. I mean, he took most of the match, and he took it as a heel. So that was interesting. I'm not sure they were testing him working as a heel, whether fans would buy it or not. But he worked that match as a heel. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm kind of sitting there like, I know what's going on. I mean, and then Randy made the comeback like a baby face, and I was like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing here. I mean, they're kind of flipping it on us here. Or flipping it on us. So, so I guess that's all we got for you guys this week. Shorter episode because Witchy's not feeling well. But I don't want to keep
my sinuses have been. I have such a headache right now. I'm like ready to take out my earbuds. Sorry, little brother. I know he left a message for us in the private chat.
I told him that.
I was like, no, I can't do clips this week.
And next week we're not going to do the show because we got to watch Saturday's main event. Yeah. Unless you can do it Sunday, I don't know. I don't think you can. You're busy Sundays now. So.
No, I usually have class on Sundays and it's with my cousin.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, Aaron Rodgers is re-signed with the Steelers, so another year of Aaron Rodgers for you guys.
Gag me with a spoon. I hate Aaron Rodgers.
Well, he just re-signed with the Steelers, so yeah, another
year. Of course, because for some reason the Steelers want to suck again this year.
Yeah, so
the Pirates have literally let me down. They can't even beat the Phillies.
Yeah, so
fuck the Pirates at this point.
I just saw that on my ex. Like, oh yeah, Aaron Rodgers is back with the Steelers. So there you go, another year instead of him retiring and being a guest on Joe Rogan, and talking about conspiracies. He's a lot
Yeah.
better doing that. But yeah,
He's such a
So
fake dude. I hate Aaron Rodgers. So fake. Oh yeah, there's conspiracy theories. Oh fuck you, Aaron Rodgers.
yeah,
You play fake football that's literally all preordained, just like wrestling.
He's been going on Rogan and Pat McAfee's podcast, and they talk about a lot about that conspiracy stuff. So that's what he's been. Yeah. So yeah.
Let's talk about the conspiracy theory, Aaron Rodgers, that NFL is all fixed, the National Fixed League. Actually, that's not a conspiracy theory. That's conspiracy fact.
Yeah.
I don't even watch football anymore. I hate it. It's all like I literally watched a game where the one receiver was in the back of the end zone. The quarterback did. He turned to his. If you're looking at him, he was turning to his left, and the receiver was in the back of the end zone. There was a guy who was going to cover that receiver on the other team, and he was going to run towards the receiver, and then he stopped and he ran the other way, like he was programmed to do. He was told not to cover that receiver, and they ended up getting a touchdown anyway. I saw that live in a live game. I was just like, yep, it's fixed. They all play pretend football. It's all like professional wrestling. You win, you lose, you win, you lose.
Right.
And you're going to win the Super Bowl because we said so.
Yeah, so that's real quick before we go. Royce Keys has kind of been hanging around the main event scene because he had a number one contenders match between him and Gunther, which Gunther won thanks to Solo Sikoa screwing Royce Keys. So now him and Solo are going to go off and feud with each other. And then Gunther is facing Cody for the title. So I'm guessing if Gunther wins, Royce Keys would be a realistic first opponent for Gunther. Unless they want to put the belt on him eventually, then that means that he can't be the first feud. But we'll see what happens there because eventually.
I mean, no one's ever seen Royce Keys. He's on the C show, and no one even fucking heard of him yet. He was at the Royal Rumble for like 2 seconds, and then all of a sudden, Powerhouse Hobbs just kind of turned around, and he was nowhere.
Yeah, now he's back. He's kind of involved in the world title picture. It's
not like Boba Fett, where we see these squash matches. I mean, he just finally disappeared off the show.
Yeah. So that's what they're doing with Royce Keys. Now he's going to feud with Solo, I guess, because Solo screwed him out of the WWE title shot against Cody. So
I guess they had to write him in somehow, and I guess with Solo.
So at least he'll be on TV now, and he can beat Solo Sikoa for a while. But yeah, so we're going to wrap up here because hopefully Witchy will feel better next week. Hopefully. And stuff. And
my sinuses are really kicking my ass. Let's say that.
Yeah, so I want to thank everybody for watching this shorter episode. Like and subscribe. Check us. We're not going to be on next week because of the Saturday Night's Main Event, but we'll be on the 30th to review Saturday Night's Main Event and then preview Clash in Italy or whatever. It starts at 2:00 though, so I'm gonna have to watch it, but. Depending whether I can get home before then, I don't know. We'll see what happens there.
Is that Saturday or Sunday?
It's on a Sunday. Clash in Italy. Yeah, it's on the 30th. It's 31st, which is a Sunday. So, yeah, so we'll be back on the 30th to review Saturday's Main Event and preview Clash in Italy. And I assume clips at that point because, And we'll also be back for Angel in the afternoon on Friday at 7. And make sure you check out all the other INN shows in the network, like and subscribe. And we'll see you guys.